Welcome to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and welcome to the second day of the second round here at the Slovakia Ring. I'm Chaz Draycott.
I'm Louise Schofield, and I tell you what, it's another glorious day here as well.
Absolutely.
We have been blessed with the weather these last 2 weekends, haven't we?
We really have, yeah. Usually in the Slovakia Ring you get a big mixture of sometimes cloudy and windy weather because of how flat it is here. You do get scorching sunshine. A few years ago it was 40 degrees Celsius here. Ooh. But you also get a lot of rainstorms as well, very suddenly out of nowhere. Luckily, none of that so far, right?
Fingers crossed, don't jinx it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great weekend so far, though. Yesterday's second race, Louise, what an absolute belter.
Oh my goodness, the nail bite. I mean, we were watching it from our little area, and I was like, oh my goodness me, it was so close. We were all like, oh, when it went over the line.
The reaction was insane. It was the closest truck racing finish that we know of, anyway. It was 10,000ths of a second between Norbert Kish and René Reinert. Just to the line, Norby had the inside line out of turn 13, but as the road went back to the left, René Reinert then got the run on him, and it was a photo finish. It was great fun.
It was, and René held that top spot for a long time as well. It was just in the end, and I thought, yeah, he might do this one, but here comes Norby.
Yeah,
right
Norby was he was sort of inevitable, wasn't he? Yesterday was Norbert Kish.
Yeah,
but
photo finish though.
Yeah,
photo finish.
Exactly, but he did say he felt bad for René, right?
He did, yeah. The interview at the end, he did say, it was such a great fight at the end there, and he said, it's such a shame, but at the end of the day, you want to get the win, don't you? So you've got to do what you got to do to get there, I suppose, haven't you?
You can't hold back whatsoever.
Absolutely not.
Unfortunately, as we stand here right now, we've had a bit of a delay to proceedings, as is the way when you share the circuit with other series. There's been a Formula 4 series on track this morning. They've had a bit of an incident in their race, and we've got a delay because of a barrier repair, haven't we?
We do, so we're having to wait a little bit. But luckily, we have the lovely paddock to go and have a little look down. Yeah. Which, and in the sunshine, it's good. People are starting to walk around now as well. I can see lots of Norbert Kish t-shirts.
There are lots of there's lots of Revesh Racing t-shirts around. So we have to go this way. Sorry.
We are heading. We have to keep an eye out for vehicles driving up and down here, don't we?
Yeah,
so we have
do.
To be very vigilant as we go down the paddock at the moment.
It's not just the trucks we have to think about, as you've probably seen in some of the wider shots here. We've got a lot of TCR cars, GT cars this weekend, so it's really whetting the appetite a little bit more for the truck racing. But one thing that's always very funny, and we've both experienced a bit of this weekend, is that when you have a lot of teams and drivers in other forms of motorsport with smaller machines, they see the trucks go past and they just seem like amazed, don't they?
Wow, this is amazing. I mean, they are probably not even a quarter of the size of the trucks.
No,
compared to them, they are so minuscule compared to the size and force of these trucks.
Absolutely. We're just walking past Mark Taylor's awning here. He had a fantastic day yesterday, having his best qualifying in 5th position and leading the Chrome class in both races and taking the victory there. He now puts himself right near the top of the championship in Chrome, and considering that John Newell hasn't won a race in Chrome yet, it's quite impressive that he's leading the championship, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was lovely to see as well John Newell's team yesterday. We did have a chat with the whole team and just seeing what goes into it and the positivity that comes out as well, and kind of the optimism of a race weekend. And John was saying that last year at Slovakia it went a little bit better and this year didn't go so well, but I think that's just the nature of it, isn't it? Sometimes you never know how it's going to be, do you?
No. I might do a little bit of investigative journalism here, and I may, if you will allow me, take a walk over into René Reinert's tent. Let's have a wander over.
What's going on, shall we?
Because René at the start of yesterday had a gearbox problem, so the truck was not in qualifying, which is why he started from the back of the grid, and now it seems like they've got another problem as well. So I'm just going to dive in here. You might have to look at the back of my head for just a moment while we make our way in. But as you can see, the engine has been out. I mean, look at the size of these engines. Obviously, I'm not going to touch it because they're working on it, but the size of these engines, Louise, it's crazy, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a lot of work, isn't it, to make sure these run just as they need to run.
Yeah.
And wow.
There's a lot of hoses and pipes and connectors and everything, and they're 13-litre engines. They're inline 6 cylinders, single turbocharger, which, as you can see, is about the size of a dinner plate on the other side as well. Normally a turbocharger on a road car would probably fit in the palm of your hand, but they have massive wastegates on them as well. I'm wondering if there's anybody from René's team. We can speak to Laura.
Let's have a little look.
Laura, you've been caught on camera, darling. I'm going to sit with you. Do you know what the problem is?
Actually, by free practice, the motor just stopped to work. So he's stuck on the track. There was no possibility to turn on and drive, actually. So
it's been a difficult mechanical weekend already?
Let's say like that.
Well, we'll have our fingers crossed for you.
Yeah, we actually didn't sleep at all. The whole night the boys was trying to fix another problem that came came extra after this the race. So I'm very proud of the whole team, and as you see, the Ravis Racing team also. So I just got goosebumps. I'm not Hungarian, you know.
Well, good luck. We hope it goes okay.
Yeah, sorry?
Good luck. We hope it goes okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for talking to us. So yeah, as mentioned, part of the One Truck family is that we have the Ravis Racing team here helping them out as well. This is something that we spoke about yesterday, Louise, that it's not always just one team fixing the truck, right?
No, that's it. I mean, look how many hands on deck that you need just to make sure this happens, especially as it's getting closer and closer to the qualifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, it needs to make sure everything is running in order.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of hands on deck. And
yeah, it's
I'm
lovely
sure
to be able to capture moments like this, though, because when you do see multiple teams working together, it really does show that we don't just say one truck family for no reason. It really does have, I mean, people still think it's a bit of a cliche to be, everyone's in a family, but they are here. We all want to make sure that all the trucks are running. The Ravis team could be preparing Norby's truck by now. It's probably all prepared and ready to go, which is why they're down here. And yeah, it's lovely to see this, isn't it, actually?
Absolutely. And, everyone's in there. They seem quite calm, though, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want a stressy situation, I suppose.
We have to go round this way again by the look of it, so we will have to walk out.
We get a bit trapped in when we go into the paddock a little bit.
Yeah.
So we have to scoot ourselves round.
Well, what's worth looking at as well, if we just come back and stand back a little bit here, is the size of this crane that they use to then bring the engine up and out of the truck itself. It's an absolutely monstrous bit of kit. Because these engines are 13 litres, they weigh literal tons for just the engine. Our trucks are 5 tons each. I don't actually know the precise weight of the engines, but it's a hell of a unit. And it's once again an example that every single operation in this form of motorsport is massive, isn't it?
It really is, absolutely. I mean, the sheer size when you stand next to it and you look up and you're like, wow, and the fact it needs such a powerful force just to lift it and kind of get it into position, it just kind of shows the velocity of these trucks in general, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's nuts, absolutely nuts. We will try and continue our walk down because obviously we don't want to be getting in their way.
I think, because they've got lots to do. So
they really do. They really do. A little less than some of the other teams do, but this
that's it.
This comes about, like I say, because of the delay. The Formula 4 race unfortunately had a red flag in their session. They had to repair a barrier. I'm going to speak to. I'm sorry. We're leading. Pearly, our wonderful cameraman, is being led around by us here. We're just going to see. Oh well. See, Jill, you've ended up in shot now. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Getting there. How's the weekend going? It looks like it's been a bit of a tough start to the season.
Yeah, over the winter we built the new truck, so we didn't have much time to test it. So actually last weekend in Misano we wanted to test it, but then we had a gearbox and the engine. So that was also not our weekend, so now this is actually our test. And there are a few things we just need to find out. We built it from the bottom up, so there are always things we need to figure out and find a solution for. So.
Well, fingers crossed. Slovakia Ring is quite the place to find the solutions, right? Because it's difficult on the trucks and the drivers, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Well, best of luck. We hope it goes all right.
Thank you.
Okay, smashing. We'll see how Clemens Hecker's team gets on for the rest of the weekend because, as Jill just said, Misano didn't go their way with a brand new truck. So you're constantly on the back foot then, trying to catch up again.
That's it, isn't it? And I think sometimes, obviously, when you do have something brand new, you don't know how it's going to perform, do you?
Stand by, guys. There's a car behind you.
Yeah, we've got to be very vigilant here with the vehicles coming up and down the paddock at this time, I think.
It's strange with how wide the circuit is here at the Slovakia Ring. The paddock is actually a bit narrower. It's quite interesting, but
so we just have to wait for everything to go by.
Trailers and all sorts moving down and other series. So we wouldn't get one of our trucks in there, would we?
And absolutely not, no. It's... no chance.
Not even half of them. Maybe get one engine in a trailer like that.
Absolutely not.
Let's see if we can walk down a bit further, shall we? There's a lot of fans always gathered around Norbert Kirsch and his awning here.
Oh, it's been lovely to see, though, the fan support.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere they're bringing to the Slovakia Ring as well.
Yeah, it's great to see it, isn't it? Obviously, this is almost a home race for Norbert Kish. There's no Hungarian round of the championship this year. We'll be hearing from Csaba Bako in this broadcast, actually, in the not too distant future when we spoke to him about communication and how they talk to the drivers. But yeah, it's lovely to see that they've got the support here, isn't it, with it being so close to Hungary?
I think so, and I think, when you always throw back to the One Truck family, it just shows how much it's growing and how the community is really coming together for this, and I think it's really, really lovely. And I think the good thing is that, a lot of them, they can meet the drivers and they can connect with them, and, there's no sort of barrier there, is there? It's very open, and I think that's what's really, really lovely about it. And you know, I've seen lots of pictures getting taken, and there's been lots of smiles, and you know, it's just such a lovely feeling, I think.
Yeah, I think bringing the sunshine out as well definitely helps, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's been great.
No need for the umbrellas.
No. But I mean, wet racing is always interesting when it rains, so we might get a bit of that. I'm yet to
watch one actually, so I'm just hoping one does rain, so I can maybe see it a little bit,
just to
so I can experience it a little bit. Yeah.
Our favourite steering wheel attendant here, John Newell. Seemingly confident after yesterday. Like I say, he's leading the Chrome Championship now coming into this second day of racing, but with the form that we've seen from Mark Taylor, it looks like that's going to change direction, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that he called himself a steering wheel attendant yesterday. That was absolutely lovely. We heard from the whole team and then John at the end, steering wheel attendant, and I was like, that's a good one for the LinkedIn, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. But John and his team are one of these sort of embodiments of having a good laugh while being professional, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think that's what's so nice. You know, there's so much camaraderie, and as a first timer, you know, it's so nice to come and witness that, and you know, and you can go in anywhere here, and they're so welcoming, and they offer you drinks, and you know, the hospitality here is lovely with everyone, and the teams are just so friendly and so lovely.
It is fantastic. We've got Louis Requenco just up there overseeing the work on his brand new Mercedes, a lovely looking race truck.
I love the colour of this actually. We were talking about this yesterday, weren't we? Like,
it's very cool.
The green and the white, it looks very, very smart. It's a very smart looking truck.
Just walking through shot there is Tony Albacetti, who is Antonio's son. Now, he tested one of these trucks at Most, and I'd be quite interested to see if he's not in there for hours, if we can get a chat with him, because he's a really, really smart young lad. He's a really nice guy. He's actually racing in Toyota GR86s in Spain at the moment.
Okay.
Wonderful little GT cars. But yeah, he tested one of the trucks at Most, and he said, it was like riding a bike, because you have to worry about where the weight is at all times. So there's a fine art form to driving them, as I'm sure you've found from the drivers, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we got to go in a truck yesterday, which was absolutely fantastic. I absolutely had a lovely time doing that. It was great fun. So yeah, I think you have to kind of actually go in and experience the ride in the truck to really understand, even when stuff like this happens, really how much goes into it when you're in there, because you know, when you're looking around and there's a lot, you know, it's the concentration and everything that goes inside during the driving, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's been an issue for Bradley Smith again this morning. I believe it was a steering pump failure during the warm-up session. So he's had to, try and get this sorted before they go back out. And again, the One Truck Family mantra coming true with the T-Sport Burnout team here. Tim and Melanie have helped him a lot to get to this point where they are now racing at such a competitive level. You can see Tim Frost in there as well, helping out with the fix. Hello, Casino, how are you?
It's okay.
You good, yeah?
Yeah, it's good.
Casino's an absolute legend of the paddock, bless him. Wondering if we can... Melanie, come on. How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. What's the situation here with Bradley then?
I think a compressor failed on the engine, so they're just trying to fix it. I think they thought at first that it was the steering pump, but it wasn't. So yeah, now they're trying to fix it. I think it will be tight, but hopefully they can get it done.
Well, we've just been over at René Reinett's place, seeing the Revège team there as well, fixing René's truck. It's a real signal of how strong the One Truck family is, right?
Yeah, I think it should be like this. I mean, we all enjoy doing what we do, and we should all help each other out. And if we have a problem, they will come and jump on our truck. So yeah, we hope we can make it back out.
I think one of the main things I always sort of call back to is when Antonio had an engine failure at Most years ago. I think we had 7 teams at the truck, didn't we, fixing it at the time?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
It was fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Well, I hope it gets fixed, and we look forward to hopefully seeing all the trucks back on the grid. Thank you.
No problem, thank you.
Melanie there, she's the real boss of T-Sport Burnout. No matter what Tim ever tells you, Melanie is the boss.
Absolutely. I mean, the delay is actually the lack of all these teams, so that is what we're kind of having to go through right now, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think it's great that so many of them are all helping each other out, because
it's lovely to see.
Yeah. There's so many other forms of motorsport, and this isn't, you know, I don't mean this to sound negative about other series or anything, but there's a lot of other forms of motorsport where you wouldn't see that. Everybody's sort of stuck to their own
bit, stick in their own zone. But I think that's so nice, because I mean, you see them all communicating, having banter, especially in the paddock as well, which I think is really lovely. Everyone's friendly, everyone's friends. It's just, you know, and when stuff like this happens and people need to jump on board, you know, how lovely that you can say, you know what, I'm going to help you out here. That's lovely.
Yeah, definitely. And it's in the interest of the championship at the end of the day, because it means that we always get a full grid. You know, we have a field this weekend of 14 trucks, so if we lose one of them from a race, you really do notice the difference. So it's great that the teams make sure that as many people out there are as many people as possible are out there on the grid, I should say. This is the T-Sport burnout awning that they have. It is one of the most impressive that we have, if not the most impressive. They have a huge hospitality section over on the left-hand side. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I used to have more time in a race weekend, I'd come here and just have a little sit down with them.
Yeah, they've really gone to town on this. I'm very impressed, actually. Yeah.
And an interesting point to note, actually, here as well. I'm just going to walk through shot and head over this way. I'm just going to communicate this to you as live, because this is what live TV is, everybody. This is probably Tim's pride and joy, his humongous monster. Now, these tyres from Goodyear, which Goodyear have obviously a massive amount to do with the sustainability elements of this championship. They have a 60% sustainable race tyre with us this year, but they also have a retreading process. So when the tyres are done from the race trucks, when they're done with, they basically get sent back to the factory. They'll get basically scraped down to a flat carcass again, and they get retreaded to be used on trucks like this on the road. These Goodyear tyres are actually from race trucks, and they've been put on to all of Tim's tractor units. So it's been brilliant to see that they've actually taken that sustainability effort to have it put on the tank unit.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think I think that's a wonderful thing about it as well, because the sustainability is such a big part of it, isn't it? And I think that's so lovely that we do have that. And
he likes his bull bars as well. It's a good bit of kit.
That is a lovely bit of kit, actually. You've been telling me all about the different fronts of trucks, actually.
It's been wonderful to see.
We're going to have a little wander down now and see who else we can see who we can find, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always great though, because like we said, the teams are always so welcoming. You can always just go up and speak to them.
Yeah. It's like getting around to your friend's house. I quite like it. Yeah.
From a personal note, 8-year-old me would have been screaming at the opportunity to talk to racing drivers, but when I can willingly just go up and talk to any of them,
that's it, exactly.
It's a childhood dream come true.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
I think we're going to see if we can go chat to Jochen Hahn, actually. Let's see if we can.
It's worth having a chat with Jochen because of his engine issues yesterday.
Yes,
he finished he was classified last in yesterday's second race, and that's not going to help his championship charge.
No, and hopefully he's. How was this? Should we have a little look?
Normally, you can just shout whatever words you want at Jochen, and he'll just appear.
He's all about it.
Yeah,
so we'll have a little look.
I think I can see his leg back there. He's not got the longest legs in the world.
He looks very chilled, actually. Is he chilling?
Yeah.
Go on, have a scoot in.
This is the joy of the job. You just walk in and say, "Oi."
Chilled.
Hello, young man.
Here he is.
How are you? You're not an old man. How are you?
How I look? Good?
You look great.
Really?
Yeah, always. Always good.
The noise,
You what, sorry? We noticed there was the engine issues yesterday, of course. Have you spent long of the evening to get them fixed?
In the morning looks good, yes.
Yeah.
But I never know, huh? No. It feels good in the morning, so I hope we fix it. We must cross the fingers. Yeah. Yesterday it's also coming in the race. It's not in the free practice, not in the time practice. So.
It's the worst time for it, right? Mid-race.
No, in the end you must trust for the things. It's technical, and technical things sometimes, one wire it's enough to. It's not working, so no, it's good. So now we go into time practice, and then we do.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah.
Well, we've just been down at René Reinert's place and saw the Revège team helping him with an engine change. I think they were getting the engine out, and it's amazing with the size of every component. It can sometimes be that tiny one wire, can't it?
It's really the engine open from the.
I believe so. They seem to be all over the place with it.
I have no time for interview. I must go there and make pictures. It's. I must see where's the magic tools. No. This is the truck racing spirit. And in the end it's a truck from KISS, it's the old truck from KISS, so the people must help. Yeah. So the mechanics from René need the help. But this overall is the spirit. We can see it every time when something is wrong all together. Yeah. And this means truck racing, it's not alone in the world, but it's really without any arrogance, and that's why I love it. We can make jokes, we can make something about the noise, or
or pull each other's shorts down.
I love it, and it's a shame yesterday, but today it's a new day. It's also good. We have Saturday racing, Sunday racing, so ask me in the evening. Maybe I have a big smile in the face, and all is good.
Well, best of luck, Jochen. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Enjoy.
Thank
Smashing.
you.
Jochen always has a good answer for things. It's always a pleasure to speak to him.
I like the technical term of the noise as well. That seemed very technical there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So watch out for that.
Yeah, so now we make
Yeah, that's it.
That's how I'm going to describe it in the commentary now.
Absolutely, yeah. That's going to be my preface for all the interviews later on. I think that's what I'm going to start with. So that'll be fun, won't it?
Absolutely.
There we go.
But it is always always good to speak to Jochen. Well, thank you very much for having the red tape removed for us. I must give a shout, actually. We've got our wonderful cameraman, Pearly, walking backwards for us, but Leon is dragging him round the paddock and making sure that he's all safe at all times. It's one truck family, right?
It is one truck family. We're all making sure everybody's safe here. It's very important.
Yeah.
We are going to head over now to the pit lane, I believe. So we are just going to have a walk through. But, I mean, we're getting a lovely, lovely feel of the weather here as well. We've got a bit of a breeze going on right now. So, I mean, the fans in the stands, they've got a nice cover, so I think they won't get too burnt, I don't think. I think they'll be okay.
We went and sampled the lovely grandstand just on... Was it yesterday or the other day? God, we've had such a great weekend.
We've had a busy weekend, guys. But yeah, it was absolutely lovely. Like when we went up, and the view's fantastic, isn't it?
It really great. Is. Yeah. Normally you'd expect a circuit that's more hilly to be a lot more beautiful, but and consider the flatter circuits to be less pretty to look at, but Slovakia is gorgeous, and even the area, we've been really enjoying everything about this place, haven't we?
It has been absolutely lovely. I mean, the drive in, to the circuit has been absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And I
think good for a lot of farmland, don't you?
Farmland, yeah, beautiful buildings. I think Slovakia is a beautiful place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. We will make our way through into the pit lane then. There luckily is a gate just at this end. I think we've done all right to get all the way down the paddock.
We have actually, yeah. It's been a nice little mooch. I think that's the slowest mooch we've done, because I think we've always been a bit A to B sometimes when we get here, isn't it? So it's nice to actually take it all in properly and see how we feel. And but it's been really nice, and I think we're slowly getting in there, by the way. We're making sure we're not bumping into anyone as we go.
I will apologise as well in advance for the announcer. They've got a speaker just here above us, so it may be a little bit loud as we go through. It might be a bit noisy, so apologies for that, but we'll make our way through. I couldn't tell you what he's saying, but it sounds like he's very excited.
It sounds exciting. It does sound exciting.
Yeah, it's very good. There's a little step here that we need to be cautious of.
It's a little bit, it starts to get a little bit on the noisy side for you.
Yeah. So
it's part of it, isn't it? I think it's
nice and cool in here.
The roar of the pit lane.
Oh, there's a wall behind our cameraman. I think we can
go. Going.
Yeah, we're
just
bear with me. We're going to try it.
We're going to see if we can get in, because otherwise we'll be a little bit stuck, guys.
The thing with motorsport is you've got to know.
Are we locked? We're locked out. We're locked out.
The thing with motorsport is you've got to always try and go wherever you can until somebody says no.
Yeah, let's try here.
Yeah, we're going to try and go through and round. See whether we can head round this way, shall we? That's the toilets.
I don't know if this might be the way to go.
Oh, this might be a bit sketchy. We've got aerials.
We're just...
Hang on, guys.
I think we might have to go round,
We need to go down here.
Oh, we've got some Tetris skills going on here from our cameraman.
This is very raw live TV, isn't it?
Live TV.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to see all parts of the Slovakia ring, I feel like we're showing it for you.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We are really doing a guided tour here of the Slovakia ring.
Yeah, we go.
Right. Can we get around this way?
So we need to make sure we get outside here, I think.
There we go. There's an entrance here.
Yeah, we need to make sure we get outside.
It does have a massive no entry sign on it, but we're media, so that means you can do whatever you want.
Let's make sure we get outside here. There we go. There we go. Back out we go. Here we are. Back out into the midst of it.
You can do whatever you want. Let's get the cameramen through.
Here we go.
After you. Mind your aerials.
There we go. Back outside. Here we are. There we go.
Welcome
back into the sunshine.
A busy and bustling pit lane then. All the Formula 4 drivers are now heading out back to the paddock after their session and their delayed race that they had earlier on. Seems like it's been quite a busy day for them already.
Very busy, and it's a very busy start to the Sunday as well. I think it's all go, 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 isn't it, when it's the last races of the weekend, isn't it?
It's a bit of a last day of school vibe, as I always say.
The last days of Rome, the last days of school, is that kind of vibe. But no, it's going to be good, and we're very excited. I think everyone seems quite hyped today. Everyone seems in good spirits, which I think is good. And well, Jochen seemed very chill. He seemed like he was having a lovely time, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Any predictions for qualifying?
Ooh, I mean, are we going to see Kish? I don't know. I mean, we don't know. It's going to be an interesting one, I think. Though I think yesterday it did prove interesting. So I think we're going to have to see. I think. I mean, you can never quite tell, can you? Sometimes, and sometimes people surprise you, like, oh, hello.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things will be whether we get Rene Reinert and Bradley Smith out there.
Yes, that would be nice.
Also, how well Jochen does if there is still an engine issue. These things sound so good. Sorry, I'm a massive motorsport nerd outside of truck racing as well, so it's cool to see other vehicles with us as well. It's great.
It is great. I mean, it just shows the excitement of it all, doesn't it? And, but these are very loud machines.
Yeah. So they have their own paddock down the other side. One of the benefits of this circuit is that it's such a massive geographical place. There's room for everything, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. So you can have your own little bits, which is really nice. So I think everyone's in good spirits everywhere, so I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think, they're all coming through. But we're just waiting for them all to pass through.
Yeah, there's a fantastic selection of them in this paddock, and they've had a very busy weekend as well. They've got, I think, 4 races this weekend too. But we were saying before that even for them, even for a Formula car, it's 2 minutes a lap round here, which is a long time, isn't it?
It is a long time, and when you go out there and you feel it as well, like we did mention as well, like, you know, you do realise you are on there for quite a while. It does feels a little bit longer than 2 minutes actually. When we did go out, I was like, we did go around a few times. So
you had 4 laps in the end.
I had 4 laps. I was treated to 4 laps.
I only got 2.
Brilliant, well, I'm the newbie, you see. I get
favoritism.
But a big thing about big thing about everything is the safety, isn't it, and everything like that. We do have actually a little clip coming up for you now, all about how it goes to get the communications and everything involved with the safety.
I'm here at the Tank Pool 24 awning with the wonderful Franz Stahlberg, technical delegate of the FIA. Franz, good to see you for another race weekend, of course. We wanted to talk to you about the safety features of these wonderful machines. Obviously, they are huge. There's a lot of weight behind them, a lot of inertia. A lot needs to be done to keep these things safe, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Obviously, we need to keep them safe. We need to keep the driver safe, we need to keep the spectator safe and the whole event safe. So safety is a very big priority from the FIA to make sure nothing goes wrong. I will run you through a few safety features on the truck itself, then we'll look at a bit of safety equipment for the driver as well. Yeah. Some people will recognize it from normal circuit sport, which this is as well, but it is obviously truck racing. If we look at the driver's compartment, you see a window net. That's probably pretty known as well in GT racing. It helps to confine the driver's arms in case of an accident, you know, when you see these lightweight doors coming off or anything like that, or at least any debris coming in as well. So I will just take that out of the way. And then we can see another safety feature, obviously, is the roll cage, purpose-built roll cage. So these roll cages are built to a standard which is defined in the regulations. So the race truck manufacturers can build them themselves, and we then obviously check them. We check the sizes, look at the welds, look at the mountings, and then verify it with a hologram sticker from the FIA to make sure that the normal scrutineer who does not have the knowledge sees that they have been properly checked. Full roll cage goes to the whole side. It's very, very stable, very strong, to keep obviously the shape of the cabin in case of a rollover or anything like that. Very important. For the driver itself, driver seat, you can see here a homologated seat from the FIA, has to be in spec as well. Seat belts, same thing again as normal circuit sport as well, homologated from the FIA. Very important is the mounting. You know, all the safety features like seats, belts, anything like that are no good if they don't mount them properly. So that's something we look at as well. We don't look only at the tag, so we make sure that they're mounted properly as well, that they can work properly. In general, then obviously there's a few safety features on these trucks. We have a fire extinguisher as well. It's a handheld one because the engine sits behind. We run on HVO. It's not methanol or a normal fuel, so it's not really that burnable. Onwards from here, we go to the driver safety equipment
with our lovely volunteer Stefan Fast joining us. Stefan, how are you?
Good, fine, and you?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
Right, we'll explain a bit, and it's the same system as it is in all circuit racing within the FIA. Obviously, Stefan has to have an FHR or a Hans device, FHR front handle. And that was the end of the one taker. Okay. So Stefan has to have an FHR, as it is in all other circuit sports as well, and that is homologated by the FIA as well, and obviously then a helmet which will accommodate the FHR and has a certain standard as well. He has now, for bright sunlight, he has a different visor, but these visors are part of the helmet as well. Then he wears a balaclava under the helmet, same as all his underwear, has to be fire protected. protective, and then obviously the fire suit itself. If we turn them around, you can see as well homologation, which is needed, which is checked, and it goes all the way down to the boots as well, racing boots. So safety, main priority, very important for us, and I have to say the drivers understand it as well. They want to stay safe and use everything as well.
I think one of the key things is that obviously a lot of the elements and parts are homologated by the FIA, but you still need to trust these guys with building the trucks as well to that certain standard. So it's good to see it go hand in hand. I imagine it's quite rewarding from that side.
Yeah, it is rewarding, and obviously we have in the regulations, for instance, we have a 2-circuit brake system with the air brakes, and it happens sometimes that you have an impact and you lose an air tank, or the air tank gets damaged. So then you lose one circuit. In that moment of time, there is a light which is required by the regulations, which comes on to indicate to the driver then, oh, my brake system is not 100% anymore. I can't go full anymore. And that's something we check, but we always find out that it's in everybody's interest to make sure these safety features work. So that's very good, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time and showing us around this. Stefan, thank you for being a part of it as well. And yeah, we look forward to seeing how the weekend goes on, but thanks again.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Here we are then. So we have the trucks lining up. The qualifying is getting ready to get in. Sorry about the delay there, but it is looking like it is getting ready to go, which is exciting. So in a couple of minutes, we will be getting into that for you. Now, I did mention there a little bit about communications and how important that is. We have talked a lot about the teams and how they communicate with the drivers. And Chaz Draycott actually caught up with Csaba, who is with Norbert Kisch's team, all about the communications and how they can contact the drivers. Here's a little clip for you.
Csaba Bacco from Reverse Racing joins me here in the paddock. Csaba, great to see you. First off, how are you doing?
Oh, good. Thank you very much. I hope you're well as well.
Yeah. Very good, thank you. Now, communication in motorsport is very important. I know a lot of the fans at home tend to see these wonderful shots of all you guys in the pit lanes, sort of cupping the microphones and shouting, go. How much do you actually communicate beyond that during a race, and how does it all work from your side of things?
Well, what you just said is perfectly true. In track racing, since we have a huge cabin in front of us sometimes. Yeah. Luckily, not always. When we start from the front row, it's not that important to shout the go. But if you're anywhere behind second row, it's really essential that someone tells you when the light turns green, since you don't see it from the truck in front of you. Apart from that, personally, we don't speak so much with Norby during the race. Only if we have like a penalty marker or corner marker, or accident happened in turn 3, let's say so, and some debris on the circuit, then I keep him informed. But apart from this, I don't give him any lectures on driving or stuff like this. So we don't speak so much during the races.
You don't teach him how to suck eggs, as we say in English. Now, there's a lot of different forms of communication, though, because it's not just one radio channel between you and him, is it? There's more to it.
Yeah, exactly. Since a few years, FIA improved the series by having a closed communication with the teams. In our team, it's me who listens to the FIA messages when they see that, okay, you cut the corner, so you get a warning for that, or overspeeding or whatsoever. Yeah. It's not connected directly to the driver in our team. I listen to the FIA messages, and I'm the one who filters it, because, we listen to all the messages for all the teams. So I don't want to disturb Norby listening to all of these. Yeah. So I filter it for him, and only what concerns him, I forward him to him in our radio system.
And you've got different radios for each channel as well, haven't you? And different headsets here. If you could explain to us which of these you use for what.
Yeah, exactly. So I have an earplug for me that's on the team channel. That's where I communicate with the mechanics and with Norby himself. And the big one, the bulky one, what we have here, is the one we use for the FIA communication. And that's why we have actually 2 radio devices, because it's 2 completely separate systems. So Norby cannot speak to the FIA, luckily.
And what's it like at certain circuits where we have more buildings, bridges and things? Do you ever struggle with that side of things as well?
Yeah, it's a really good question you asked, because that's a decision the team has to make before the season. A lot of teams has let's say like a transmission tower that it's in their motorhome, okay. And then the race truck and the mechanics, they all speak actually to the motorhome, and then it distributes the message to. But the problem is it has some delay on. So what you just mentioned with the go, we decided not to go this way. Yeah. So we have no delay in the go. We are faster on that, but we struggle with the bridges and we struggle with the visibility. So that's a bit of a problem, but that's really a decision you have to make before.
It's the things that go into motorsport. Hey, well, thank you very much for your time today, Csaba. Fantastic to learn about all of this, and good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
It is always a pleasure to catch up with Csaba Backo of Revace Racing. He's a fantastic character, always gives us a lot of his time, and, well, I'm sure that he will always do so as well. He's very natural in front of the camera, isn't he? He's wonderful to speak to. So for the first time today, we have drivers out on circuit, and we will be getting the qualifying session very much underway shortly. It is a long outlap for these drivers around this nearly 6 kilometre circuit. It's amazing that while it is 6 kilometres, it's only 14 corners in total. Turns 13 and 14 yesterday, obviously seeing a hell of a lot of the action with Norbert Kirsch and René Reinert side by side to the flag. 10 thousandths of a second between them at the line, which was pretty remarkable. There was, I'm just finding it now, there was actually a change to the race result yesterday, because there was a 5-second penalty given to Sascha Lenz for his incident with Mark Taylor. So that changes things round a little bit. This is the track map for the Slovakia ring. And as you can see, it goes back on itself a number of times here, almost like a karting circuit, but times by 10. It's a massive track, this place. It's all very flat, but there are some artificial hills here that have been built into the circuit. It makes for some pretty interesting viewing as they head up over the crest and in a lot of these long sweeping corners. The middle sector in particular, as you go through turns 4, 5, 6 and 7, they really are leaning on the front tyres a hell of a lot here. And when it's as hot as it is today, nearly 30 degrees, then the drivers are going to struggle to keep those tyres in a good window. Obviously, Goodyear bring us these incredible race tyres, which are good for racing in both conditions, whether it's red hot or whether it is absolutely leathering it down like we had here a few years ago. But it's certainly a big test of those tyres and how well they can be kept in a decent operating window throughout the race. Happy to say I've changed office for today, and I actually have a lovely view of the trucks heading down the back straight where they are now, as they head in towards turn 13, just as they've come off the little artificial hill. John Newell is out there hoping to still lead the Chrome Championship after this round, but with the current pace that we've seen from Mark Taylor, with no disrespect to John, it is starting to look slightly unlikely. Mark has been really on form now. He's really turned it back on for this weekend. I had a good chat with him yesterday after the second race, and he was over the moon. As he said to Louise in the interview, in fact, if he could have another day like Saturday, he would be very chuffed. He's just gone flying past the commentary window just now, and the trucks will start their first flying laps of Quali 2 here in 2026 at the Slovakia ring. And as you can see, it is still very hot, arguably hotter than it was yesterday as well. But yesterday we didn't have qualifying until nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so the drivers will have to consider that all of the sessions will take place in slightly different parts of the day than it did yesterday. So it'll be very interesting to see if that changes anything or has any effect. You can see the military museum in the background of that shot there. They have this old school hangar in the background and lots of military helicopters, missiles and all sorts there. Very interesting place to be. I still haven't visited though, so maybe I'll have to extend my stay next time we come out here, because as I'm sure a lot of you that listen to a lot of these broadcasts know by now, it is right in my remit. There is turn 3. As you can see, they do something that we call V'ing off the corner. So they will hit the apex quite early, they'll run out a little bit wider, and then clip the apex again on the way back out. They won't just purposely stick to that curb all the way down the inside, because that's not the optimal line, especially when you want to get a good run out of the corner as well. There is Norbert Kirsch, championship leader, having a fantastic second race win yesterday. 2 from 2 for Norby. Means that he now has a solid 9-point lead at the top of the championship. And we're intrigued to see whether he can continue that on for today as well. As I mentioned during yesterday's race broadcast, he does have a history of making it a clean sweep here at the Slovakia ring, winning all 4 races of the weekend. There's a lot of overtaking opportunities for a circuit that has such long radius corners and no major braking zones really other than turn 3. It is quite suited to overtaking even in our trucks. There's Louis Rikwenko in the pit lane. It's a shame to see him sitting in there as well, because he has had a pretty smooth weekend with his truck so far. But unfortunately, he looks like he's having some sort of technical issue. René Reinert is not out there in this qualifying session. an absolute superstar of this season has been Franz Steilberg. I'm sure you'll all agree. He's made a lot of airtime in the first couple of rounds of the championship. And as you'll have seen from Louise and I walking through the paddock earlier, a number of teams all working on each other's truck. The Reves Racing team working with René Reinert on getting his truck ready to go. It is an entire engine change. Requenco's issue is a turbocharger, so I think maybe he's done the outlap and he's come back in just to check if it's okay. Bradley thought that they had a steering pump failure, but it's actually a compressor failure, as Melanie told us before. Franz has thankfully confirmed that as well. This is one of the fun things of sharing a circuit with other teams and series around the weekend, is that a lot of our teams will make use of their little sort of boxes that they have on the pit wall to check the time in a little bit closer to the pit wall. There is Requenco going back out on the circuit, question mark. He might go to the end and then turn into the paddock. No, he's going back out on track. That's good to see. So the first times have come through. Norbert Kiss has done a 2:42.5 with Antonio Albacete currently second, Mark Taylor in third place ahead of Jochen Hahn and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Sasha Lenz is sixth ahead of Steffi Halm. Bradley Smith on your screen now has just gone eighth fastest, ahead, very importantly, of all the other Chrome drivers except for Mark Taylor. Bradley needs to really put in the hard yards in races 1 and 3 of these weekends to make sure that he can catch back up in the standings now. And after the technical issues of yesterday, I'm sure he will be raring to go again to put in the pace that we all know that he has. Completing the top 10 at the moment are Stefan Faas and John Newell. Then we have Luke Garrett and Clemens Hecker completing the 12. Now, all 12 of them will go through to Q2 into the next session. But Louis Requenco, as you can see on your screen there, is now starting another outlap to wind it up and hopefully get himself into that top 12 and knock just one driver, very savagely, just knock one driver down. Clemens Hecker is the one at the moment that is the most under threat. He's just there on your screen now. It was good to speak to Jill before the race and get her thoughts on how things are going. As they mentioned, this is a live test for them, basically, here at the Slovakia ring. It's been a very trying start to the championship, but they're a plucky squad, wonderful group of people, very enthusiastic, and I'm sure that they will continue to improve the truck time and time again. It is a brand new truck. They used to drive a truck that they named Minna. This year they have Alva as a replacement. They still do have Minna actually back at base as well, fully built and ready to go if they need. But they've been through, I think, 3 engines already in Alva, so she's been throwing the toys out of the pram and being quite a diva in the first few rounds of the series. There is a lovely aerial shot of Louis Requenco in that gorgeous Mercedes. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about how the new Mercedes Actros, the road-going version in particular, it's not a looker, is the polite way of saying it, but the race version that Louis Requenco has built here is an absolute stunner. They really have turned a frog into a prince. And Louis is hoping that it goes as good as it looks. And at the moment, he's really turning the wick up to get some temperature into the tyres and into the brakes. Might not be too difficult on a day like today. But he now heads towards turn 13 and will make his way around for a fast lap. Norbert Kish staying on the outside line there just to make sure it doesn't impede him and affect his run out of the final corner. A little reminder that you can watch the One Truck Family documentary, which was made over the last couple of seasons with yours truly as narrator. It's available on YouTube now, and if you get a spare hour of your day, we implore you to watch it because a lot of love has gone into making it, and it is fantastic to watch. Really gives you a good insight into the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship and all the wonderful people behind it. We always talk about the One Truck Family, and I will always bang that drum and say that it's not just a random hashtag that we put on just to make things look friendly. It really is that friendly behind the scenes. As the trucks now make their way back into the pit lane, Louis Requenco is the driver staying out on track. I wouldn't be surprised to see Clemens Hecker remain on the circuit as well, because he is a driver at threat of being knocked out of this session at the minute. I'll see whether I can get the timing screen open and ready to check their sector times. Louis Requenco then hasn't actually set a representative lap so far. So he will be just trying his best now to get everything out of the truck in this one lap because, well, actually he's got 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So even if he gets this lap slightly wrong, he'll be able to at least get back on it, get the truck back to a better operating temperature and start another fast run to the flag. As you can see, he's just making his way around turns 5 and 6 now onto the brakes. It's a very difficult corner actually, is turn 6, because you have a very tightening braking zone and it's all round one big corner, so you have to be coming on and off the brakes while maintaining the same steering input and making sure that the truck stays on a smooth trajectory to the apex. We saw Norbert Kiss try and move around the outside there yesterday. Didn't quite work on René Reinert and led to that nail-biting finish. I think if Norby would have had the move done there, it would have been it would have been determined a lot earlier, let's say, because he would have had the inside line then for the hairpin down at turn 8. Louis Requenco hard onto the brakes in turn 10. And I'm told that Louise is ready for an interview as the trucks have made their way into the pit lane.
Okay, so I've got Antonio Albacetti here. Antonio, how are you feeling?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit early to... I mean, it feels good, you know, but yeah, I mean, now everybody's taking it easy. So we will see the next one and then the last one, you know, it's when all the power is come off. So yeah, for the moment I feel good, so I hope that we can keep this pace and to be in the top 6 for the next ones.
There we go. Oh, well, best of luck. Good luck. There we go. We're just getting into it now for you. There we go. Everyone is in the pit lane right now. It's just we've just done. There we go. So Chaz, back to you for a sec.
Thank you very much, Louise. It's very calm and quiet down there in the pit lane, and it's not calm and quiet on the circuit as Louis Requenco has gone 11th fastest at the moment. I can hear the director, Michelle, saying the word 11 in a funny accent, as he has been doing all weekend. But he has now made it into Q2, has Louis Requenco. Clemens Hecker is the truck that is being knocked down. He will be out of the session if it stays like this. I'm just checking the timings, though, and just seeing if he is on another quick lap. Doesn't look like he's improving. I think he's winding it up for one more go, actually. I'm told we have another interview, though, with the young, up-and-coming driver, Bradley Smith.
Bradley, how are you feeling? I know you've had a few problems with the gearbox and things. How's it going?
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, obviously fixed yesterday's problem. Went out this morning in the warm-up and the compressor failed on the second lap. So, yeah, that was that. But the boys done a great job. Little time. Massive thanks to Tim as well and his team. But yeah, they've managed to get a new compressor on it, put the power steering pump back on it, managed to repair it, and yeah, I think we're P8 in a minute, so fingers crossed, still feels good. It's not making no more funny noises, so that's a good sign. Yeah. Bit more confidence in me, so yeah, see what we can do in Q2.
Yeah. And are you feeling confident? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, yeah. We've got good people around me, got a great truck, so it's all down to me now.
That's it, there you go. You've got everything there for you, that's good. Well, Bradley, best of luck, and I hope it all goes okay for you. No problem, there we go. A little bit of an update there. Chaz, back to you.
Thank you very much, Louise. It's always good to hear from Bradley. He's always remaining in a positive mindset, and like I said, they have got a really great truck underneath them, the ex-Antonio Albacetti machine. It's a very, very quick truck. Bradley described it at Misano as a weapon, and he's absolutely right. It really is a rapid machine. But it was lovely again to see, interestingly, the teams that had sort of passed on their ex-trucks now to other teams. Everyone was helping them work on it for the current team that run it. So obviously Norbert Kisch's team, Revesh Racing, they handed over Baloo to René Reinert and his team, so they were helping now maintain that and get the engine changed. And it's the same with T-Sport Bernau with the ex-Antonio Albacetti truck now at Bradley Smith's squad. They were helping sort the compressor failure on that as well. As you can see on the left-hand side of your screen now, we have the 12 drivers that are making it through into Q2. And unfortunately, Clemens Hecker is the one that will drop out and remain fixed to 13th on the grid. And for the second day running, René Reinert will start race 1 of the day from the back of the grid. Interestingly, he only lost out on the race win in the end yesterday by 0.010 of a second. Wonder if we'll see the same again today. It's unlikely that the gap will be that small, but you never know here at the Slovakia ring. It really does throw up surprises. Looks like Luke Garrett is on a quick lap at the moment here. He's pushing in this final part of the session. He doesn't need to now, though, because he's in 12th position and he is through. Clemens Hecker is in the pit lane, so he will not be improving. In fact, you could hear it, that Luke Maybe lifted, actually. I don't know, you know. Oh, no, it was Louis Rukwenko coming down the pit lane that was lifting. Apologies. You could hear a turbocharger just spooling down. I wondered if Luke had given up the ghost in that final sector, but no. He doesn't improve, though, on that lap, actually. His last lap was a 2:46.1. His best is a 2:45.3, so he was still 0.8 of a second down. But it does mean that he is through into Q2 as a result of being in the top 12. So we'll go through the timings and results of that first session in just a few minutes' time. But first, I hear that we have an interview with the lovely Sasha Lenz.
There we go. Sasha, how are you feeling?
Good. And you?
Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
Ready for the final races of the weekend?
Yeah, for sure. We have an hour qualifying. That's really important for the start. And then we will see.
Brilliant. Best of luck. I'm going to let you get on with it. Thank you so much. Cheers. There we go. Looks like we're all raring to go now, guys. Everyone's whirling up. Back to you, Chaz.
Always nice and straight to the point, Sasha Lenz, as they get ready to go out for Q2 now. All of the trucks will be assembled at the end of the pit lane in the order that they just finished that session. So we should have Norbert Kish, Antonio Albacete, Mark Taylor in third place, with Jochen Hahn in fourth, and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, once again, very under the radar. Since his jump up from Chrome to Titan, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez has been very under the radar. It's quite interesting. He's always been so exciting to watch, but he's just been methodical and quiet in the Titan class, scoring points here and there and putting in some great performances. He's currently 5th in the Drivers' Championship, 7 points behind Antonio Albacete, and he has 1 podium so far this season at the second race at Misano. And I'm sure that he'll want to add to that tally. I believe last season he won a number of races as well, not always from the reverse grid either, actually. He put in some great performances in some of the early races in the season to really get ahead of the competition. But then towards the end of the season, he dropped off slightly. He didn't have the end of the season that he would have wanted, but he certainly had a difficult couple of first seasons in the Titan category, but now he looks well at home up there. And it's safe to say that Mark Taylor, if he continues on the trajectory that he's on, he could very much be considered for that as well. Speaking of considering drivers, obviously we have to think about the Goodyear Wingfoot Award over the course of the weekend. So after race 3, the anonymous panel will have made the decisions on which 3 drivers will have been nominated, and then during race 4 later on today, it's all down to you at home, the fans, to vote on Instagram for which driver you would like to see win that prize. Not forgetting, of course, that there are a set of 6 tyres available from Goodyear as a result of winning the Goodyear Wingfoot Award. It's not just a pretty trophy that I definitely want a replica of. It is down to, well, it's not a competitive advantage, but obviously you get 6 new tyres, which is always a pleasure in truck racing. The tyres are very, very sturdy, but they really do take a battering around circuits like this here in Slovakia. As you can see now, we just have the calm before the storm at the end of the pit lane. Norbert Kish ready to go. Antonio Albacete keeping his distance already. Mark Taylor in 3rd place. And 4th place, Jochen Hahn. We're just waiting for the final trucks to make their way in. Luke Garrett has just come past the commentary box window here. And he will just peel into the pit lane. He'll wait for everybody else to go out on track ahead of him. And then he will be, I'm sure, just a little bit delayed going back out on the circuit based on the fact that the teams will have a look at all of the tyre pressures. They'll check all of the water and everything for the brakes and the intercoolers as well. I'm told there is 40 seconds until the pit lane opens, so not long to go now at all. And then it will be go time for Q2 here at the Slovakia ring. You can see from the slight movement in the camera, there's a little bit of wind as well here at the circuit. It's a bit more windy than it was yesterday. Coming here in person for the first time, I really did expect it to be much more windy with how flat this part of the world is, but it's beautiful for it. There's a lovely, lovely shot down the pit lane of all of our trucks, and any moment now, the green light will come on at the end of the pit lane, and there it is. Norbert Kish will head out on track, the siren sounds, and Q2 here on Sunday will get underway. They will peel out one by one. Clemens Hecker will have made his way back into the paddock, and René Reinert and the team will continue fixing what they need to fix with another engine change. You can hear the air horns sounding from the spectators around the track. They love it here, especially for supporting Norbert Kish. As we've mentioned, it's not far from Hungary, of course, so he gets a lot of support here on these race weekends. We have our 12 trucks heading out. Luke Garrett actually making up the rear quite quickly there. There is the Hungarian flag flying from the grandstand. But yeah, there is Luke Garrett making his way down towards turn 1. Looks like he was really in a hurry. Of course, this session now just 10 minutes, not 15 minutes like we had earlier on. And then the final part of qualifying, Q3, it's just 5 minutes long. So we've seen it before, actually, that drivers take so long to get round the opening lap that I think it was 2 seasons ago now, the driver that was 6th after Q2 didn't even make it to the line before the timer hit 0, and they weren't able to put in a valid qualifying time. So they do need to still keep the pace up even on a warm-up lap. 8.5 minutes left to go in the session, which means they've got plenty of time to get round and obviously complete that warm-up lap this time. I love this drone shot of turn 3 as all the trucks make their way around. We've got a fantastic view of said turn 3 out of the commentary box window as well. And you can see them all just making their way slowly round between turns 3, 4, 5 and 6. One of the most difficult sections on the circuit. They go through the left-hander at turn 4, and then it's almost a double right-hander at turns 5 and 6. That's where Norbert Kish is now. Through the slight left kink at turn 7. You barely notice that kink in the truck because you spend all of your time setting it up on the right-hand side of the circuit for turn 8, which is the hairpin that our drone is flying over now. You can see the skid marks from Bradley Smith's spin in qualifying yesterday. It was quite amazing, actually, that he didn't end up stuck in the gravel there. He was able to get straight back on with it because the rear tyres really got beached. And these tyres are barely dirt racing tyres. They've only got a small amount of tread on them, but that's what makes them so versatile and so great for dry racing and wet racing as well. So if we have any rain-affected races, the tyres really do a fantastic job to handle the weather. I did wonder why we had 11 trucks out on track. That is Louis Requenco still sat in the pit lane, so I wonder if there's any further issues there. I have to say as well that that camera shot does not do justice how beautiful that green colour is. It's a very cool green that Louis has been running for a number of years now. It is such a stunning race truck. In the pre-season test back at Most in April, he didn't have any of the big white decals or anything down the side of it, or the big sort of jagged design. It was a very plain livery of just green with a few little white flicks on it like he's run for the last few years. So to see it get the additional flair has been absolutely wonderful. Just hope that it continues to go as well as it looks. So round the final corner they go then. This is where the drivers start to really turn it up and crack on. Louis is going to go out on track. I wonder how close he's going to be to the leaders of the pack here, because Norbert Kish is just steaming past our commentary box window now. There's no blue flag or anything. Norby may have to not take avoiding action as such, but he may have to just compromise his line slightly into turn 1 as Louis Requenco heads down there. Hopefully he's been able to navigate that without any dramas. And yeah, there is Louis actually peeling out onto the circuit, staying on the outside line to make sure he's not in the way of Mark Taylor. Antonio Albacete has already navigated his way past. There was actually a communication sent out between race days as well on the drivers kicking up the dust on the apexes of some of the corners. We saw it through turns 4 and 5, I believe it was, because the drivers have had the opportunity to slightly cut the circuit and move to the right hand side, but there's no curb on that part of the track. So what a number of them have been doing is just catching that grass on the inside, and with how dry it is, I mentioned the dust clouds yesterday and how terrifying it must be to maintain full throttle and head through it. And they have had a communication saying that they may be reported to the stewards should they perform an act which results in debris being brought onto the track. So it's not quite saying it's an intentional 007 smokescreen, but it's along the lines. It's like something out of Mario Kart, isn't it, really? You know, kicking dust into the following opponents' faces. But you have to be tactical in motorsport, and if you're creative about it, then who's to say it's a bad thing? Well, the race director, I guess. Mark Taylor then third on circuit at the moment. He'll be really pleased to know that the only two drivers ahead of him at the moment are 3-time champion Antonio Albacete and 7-time champion Norbert Kisch. And the driver behind him is 6-time champion Jochen Hahn. So he's doing a good job. There's John Newell's team. Oh, Mark, actually, I just jinxed him there, didn't I? Steffi Halm and Mark Taylor both having their relevant lap times deleted for penalty markers due to turn 1, just running a little bit too wide on the apex, or on the exit rather. They've just overdone it slightly, and that means they have exceeded track limits and they will have their lap times deleted. So they'll have to slow it down, I imagine, in this final sector and then go again. They might get the message quite early from the teams. You could see all of the teams watching the timing screens on their phones as they were keeping an eye on how things are going. Hopefully they're not watching the broadcast and I'm not boring them to death in the pit lane. But Jose Eduardo Rodriguez there, running 5th. He's keeping it nice and tight to the inside, actually, there at turn 13. I mentioned earlier about V'ing off the corner. You attack the apex early and then attack it again late on the way out of the corner. But he really kept it tight on the inside. Norbert Kisch fastest. Jochen Hahn moves up to 2nd place. Antonio Albacete 3rd at the moment. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez now goes 3rd as well, just 0.04 of a second ahead of Antonio Albacete. And it's Sasha Lenz in 5th. Steffi Halm's time in 6th place replaces Mark Taylor's now that his has been deleted. Bradley Smith now goes 6th fastest as he replaces Steffi Halm's time that's been deleted. Stefan Fast then goes 7th in the wonderful Freightliner. Good to see that thing going well this weekend. Once it does get moving, that truck, it is very, very quick. Just saw Louis Requenco in the background there turn effectively the headlights on, the big LED bars in the windscreen. He's turned them on so he can alert drivers that while they are on a slow in lap, he's on a fast lap now. Luke Garrett has gone 9th fastest. 9/10 off John Newell though. Luke knows he can do better than that. It's another new truck for him. I went to see him and his team yesterday. And, oh, well, I'm jinxing all the drivers today. Stefan Fast now has had a deletion of a relevant lap time due to turn 9. So he will have to go again in the Freightliner. And if he's backed off from this lap, actually, that might be quite damaging, because if he's already backed off, he's probably not going to get round in time. It does look like he's still at full chat, actually. I could see him on that camera view, just having a look out the window as well. It does look like he's still going for it. So he should, in theory, just get round in time. It's going to be close, this. But he's had his fast lap deleted, so we've only actually had 9 times through so far. So Mark Taylor, Steffi Halm and Stefan Fast all having lap times deleted. Louis Requenco is still on a quick time. Just to give you an idea of how slow the outlaps are, Louis Requenco's outlap when he was off the pace and letting other trucks through was 7 minutes long. That's almost the entirety of the session. Understandably, he was in the pits for a bit of that, but it's still a long old time. In the Formula 4 race that we had earlier today, actually, where there was a red flag, they were behind the safety car, and a lap behind the safety car was 6 minutes for them. Shows you again that this 6-kilometre circuit is an absolute Goliath and not one to be messed with. There is Requenco up over the crest of the hill, then down towards turn 10. It's a really cool shot here on the inside line. You can see the truck really dive onto its nose, put all of that weight over on the front axle. As per the regulations, over 3 tons of the weight needs to be put over that front axle in the 5.3 ton minimum that these trucks carry across all 4 corners. And let me tell you, from the cockpit, it doesn't feel like it weighs 5 tons the way these things go around the circuit. It is a remarkable experience. Looks like Stefan is actually letting Louis go at the moment. Stefan's in a bit of a difficult spot here because he needs to keep the pace up to make sure he crosses the line in time, but he also needs to let Louis go and not impede him on this lap. Louis is right up behind Mark Taylor now. And based on his exit out of the final corner, I'm not sure if Stefan has actually had the message from his team to say, "Crack on, son," but obviously in German. There is Louis Requenco then, clipping the apex out of the final corner. Steffi Halm has put a new lap in, but it's only 10th fastest for Steffi. Let's see, now it's 11th fastest for Steffi, but she will now go on to this as a fast lap, I imagine. These 4 drivers all need to get a time on the board. They're not representative laps there from Halm and Taylor, that's safe to say. Louis Requenco has moved up to 9th place. Checkered flag is out. So this is a one-shot showdown between these 4 drivers that all happen to be in this quartet all together on the circuit. It's one of the more unique scenarios that we've seen in qualifying over the years. But since the change to this format, it's definitely safe to say that it's been a much more exciting qualifying session each and every time, especially with such a short Q3 of just 5 minutes. But now as they make their way down towards turn 3, it's Stefan Faas keeping an eye on what his competitors are doing, because a lot of the time in these qualifying sessions you'll see the drivers really slow down and leave a big gap to the truck ahead of them to make sure that if they are quicker than the truck in front, they don't drive into that empty space and that they don't get held up. Of course, they want more clean air to drive into. Bradley Smith in the top 6 at the moment, though. He'll be really pleased with that if it can stay that way, but Mark Taylor was in the top 5 yesterday. Steffi Halm was right up there as well, so not sure Stefan Faas will make it through to Q3, but he may surprise us. That Freightliner really does go well around here. It seems like a slightly different centre of gravity on that machine really does do a good job. I remember last season, after having, I think it was 3 DNFs and a non-start at Misano at the start of the season with huge reliability issues, especially due to the fuel system in that truck. He had an absolute barnstormer of a time at Slovakia Ring, but the truck was just never the same after that. So it seems like it really does suit that machine. I remember in the past, actually, Adam Lachko and Teo Calve and Elia Kolok in the Freightliners for Goodyear, they always used to go well around here as well. Definitely a circuit that suits that shape of machine with the longer nose. It really is the sort of shape that, as a kid, if you draw a racing truck, that's the shape that you draw. Only you put missiles and a massive rear wing on it or something. But it's going like a missile at the minute. Faster than the one that's on the exit of this final corner anyway in that museum. Steffi Halm then heads into turn 13, clips the apex early. Same with Mark Taylor, same with Louis Requenco, same with Stefan Faas. And then you can see they sort of come away from the apex slightly and then tuck it back in. Steffi running really wide into turn 14 there on the dust on the left-hand side. And across the line they go. Let's see what they can do then. Steffi Halm goes up to 7th, so she will not go through into the final session. Neither will Mark Taylor. Stefan Faas only just improves, but remains down there in 12th place. Louis Requenco remains 11th as well, so quite an anticlimactic part of the session in the end. That means that the top 6 are Norbert Kish, Jochen Hahn, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Antonio Albacete, Sasha Lenz, and the only chrome driver going through, Bradley Smith. I tell you, Luke Garrett will want that gearbox back soon, won't he? Fantastic stuff by Bradley, though. That's what we love to see. We have an interview with Louise, I'm told, as the drivers make their way back into the pit lane.
Here we go. Right, Jose, how was that for you?
Yeah, it's a good qualify. 3rd place, and I push the maximum, and we'll see what's happening in the 3rd qualification.
How are you feeling about the last races of the weekend as well? Is it the last? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. The truck is good. And we put the best setup for this weekend, and we'll see.
Brilliant. Best of luck. There we go. There we go. It says it's getting right into gear now, isn't it? Back to you, Chaz.
Thank you very much, Louise. Always good to hear from Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, especially now he's actually sort of cleaned up his English a bit as well. He used to always be a difficult thing because he was such an exciting driver to watch on the circuit, but we were never able to interview him in English, so we're never really able to get the message across. But yeah, he's been fantastic with that for the last few seasons, and yeah, it's great that he's put that additional effort in to make sure that he can be more of a part of the broadcast each and every time. But yeah, as he said, 3rd place, very, very good. He's really pleased with that, ahead of Antonio Albacete, his mentor in this championship. Sasha Lenz 5th. He'll be happy to be through to Q3 as well. He's had a bit of a tough start, a bit of an up and down start to the season. Sasha, seemingly for the last couple of seasons now, he's one of those drivers where he's either absolutely on it all the way through a race weekend and he's constantly getting podiums, even top 5s, but in other rounds he will then, sit 7th or 8th sometimes in quali and just not quite make it to the sharp end where he wants to be. But he's proving it now that he's back on form. In fact, actually, the first ever race I commentated on the championship was won by Sasha Lenz back at the Hungaro ring due to a turbo failure on Norbert Kish's truck as he was leading. And since then, Sasha has always been a front runner, but like I say, just in peaks and troughs, as we say. Lovely shot there of the grandstands. You can see everybody remaining in the shade. It's a lovely place to watch the racing from. It's just elevated enough that you can see almost all of the circuit, but it's low enough that you feel really close to the pit lane as well, especially with how tall our trucks are on top of that. You feel very close to the action at all times, whether it is down in the pit lane or on the circuit. They will have just a couple of minutes now as the remaining 4 trucks that were on track make their way back into the pit lane. They'll check all the tyre pressures, check temperatures, check water levels as well in water tanks. We've seen some great shots in the past of teams letting some of the water out to make sure that they have a little bit less weight in the truck for those final moments. They don't want to be carrying excess water, and obviously water isn't something that stays still in those tanks either. You have to think about the weight transfer, not just of the whole machine, but the water within it as well, moving around in those tanks. I remember how interested everybody was in the concept that Norbert Kish and Revesh Racing have vertically mounted their water tanks in their trucks, so they have 4 of them. They're a bit further back than we see usually, but like I say, mounted vertically just to negate any of that movement under braking and obviously through cornering. This is definitely a bit more of a calm before the storm, isn't it? You can see some of the wind really blowing across the start-finish straight. It's a bit of a crosswind there. Sometimes here at the Slovakia ring, it's interesting if we get a headwind or a tailwind, because the drivers have to manage that top speed of 100 miles an hour or 160 kilometers an hour. And the tailwind can make a big difference to something that is as aerodynamic as a house. Especially when you're getting a tailwind as well. Exceeding that speed is more detrimental to your race than being under it usually. We have the pit exit opening in just a few moments. And the green light is on, and they will head out for a 5-minute session. So it'll be interesting to see how they do this here, because the drivers need to keep the pace up on this outlap, not linger around too long. They need to cross the line before the timer hits 0. So it puts a lot of pressure on them around a long circuit like this. It's definitely not a track where you can get 2 flying laps here. This is one of the most high-pressure qualifying sessions of the season. As you can see, Norbert Kish making his way out, but not at full pelt at the moment. They seem to turn the wick up a little bit later round the lap. There is Bradley Smith, the only Chrome driver to go through into this session. He'll be over the moon with that, and so will the rest of the team. That'll be a huge confidence boost for them for the rest of the day, especially as Mark Taylor looked so untouchable at the top of the Chrome class yesterday. He's really turned it around though, has Mark, taking 2 class victories on the bounce. John Newell taking a 2nd place in the first race, having a lot of confidence coming into this one. You can hear the wind actually from that camera shot as well. You can hear it really battering across the camera. It'd be super interesting to see how that affects things as the day moves on. The trucks out the window especially looking resplendent right now in the sunshine. You can see their very shiny chrome Alcoa wheels. A major partner of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It looks like everybody really is taking it easy in that middle sector there. Nobody really winding it up. But it will be as they get to the line in that final sector, maybe out of turn 10, out of the hairpin, turns 11 and 12 and up over the crest of the hill, they will really crack on. But it really is quite calm on that camera shot in particular. You can hear no wind at all. I was just trying to listen out for it, and you can't hear any wind whatsoever there. It's interesting how it seems to be affecting different parts of the circuit, as is the nature of it here. There is turn 8, very difficult hairpin. A lot of heavy braking on the way into there to make sure that the truck is sat down on the front axle properly and you get all of the turn in that you need. The rear end isn't going to try and carry too much inertia and overtake the front. But now they start to turn it up a little bit. You can hear the turbochargers spooling there as they come out of turn 10, 11 and 12. 2 minutes still left on the clock, so plenty of time for them to get to the flag. But they will just have 1 lap each. Norbert Kish has got a bit more of a gap over Jochen Hahn than we usually see. Jochen has sort of refined the art of putting pressure on Norbert Kish in these qualifying sessions by sitting right behind him sometimes, really playing some games, as he tried to with me in the paddock earlier on. Have to consider wearing a belt next time I'm around Jochen Hahn with his practical jokes. But it's Norbert Kish, Jochen Hahn, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Antonio Albacete, Sasha Lenz and Bradley Smith are 6 trucks, and they get on with their flying laps now. Norby flying past the commentary box, making a good old racket. It sounds so aggressive, that MAN. I'm not sure what they have done differently to that engine, but it makes such an aggressive noise compared to a number of the other trucks in the field. Sasha Lenz coming through as well, and Bradley Smith. Interesting how the back 3 have really spread out a lot more than the top 3. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez sitting right behind Jochen Hahn. Antonio Albacete has a good bit of daylight. Sasha Lenz has about a month between him and Antonio. But that may not be reflected in the final times. At least he's got clear air to drive into. It's one of the most important things around here, especially after the dust that we saw yesterday. Let's see how they manage these final laps. I'll have a look at some sector times and see what we can compare. It's amazing to think that just the middle sector alone on that outlap was 1 minute 40 seconds for most drivers. That's longer than most Grand Prix circuits. It's incredible. 52.287 for Norbert Kish, 2.49 for Jochen Hahn. So Jochen, just like yesterday, quicker in the first sector than Norbert Kish. 52.4 for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, 52.5 for Antonio Albacete. And it's 52.5s, wow, only 25 thousandths of a second different between Albacete, Lenz and Smith in that first sector. But Norby and Jochen only separated by about 400ths as well, so really close there. Timer hits 0, checkered flag will now come out. The pit lane siren has sounded. And again, I will remind you that if Louise and I jump on the grid later on, it is one of the loudest, loudest racetrack sirens I've ever heard. At least it does its job though, right? Lovely, lovely aerial shot here of them heading round turn 9, the long speed. It's really difficult to make sure that they keep momentum through there. There's a lot of you have to give it a slight lift a lot of the time. Make sure that you don't on the runoff area on the right hand side. Now as they come out of this hairpin, this is when the next sector times will be triggered. Looks like not putting it nice and tidy through turn 11. That just seems so good in that MAN. He's 4 tenths faster than Jochen Hahn in that second quicker than Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. 17.6 through there for Antonio Albacete, so he's 9 tenths off not in that sector alone. Sasha Lenz is another down, and so too then is Bradley as well, another 3. So that shows you just how much that sector is fun. The way that truck handles for Norbert Kish is just absolutely outstanding. 1.3 seconds in that middle sector alone. And there are the times then as they go across the line. It's a 2:42.3 for Norbert Kish. Jochen Hahn goes second fastest, but it's half a second different. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez next up. Sasha Lenz 4th fastest. Antonio Albacete goes 5th, and Bradley Smith will start in 6th place. So the only difference there to how they were running being Sasha Lenz overtaking Antonio Albacete in the final time. So he will start from the second row of the grid. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will be over the moon with that. He was happy with P3 in Q2. And he's going to be very, very happy right now because he's managed to secure that in Q3. And I think that one of the things, I think previously it was a 4th place quali result for him. I think it was back at Most a season or two ago where he had that result. I'll try and confirm that later on. But Norbert Kish, yet again, fastest around the Slovakia ring. And as mentioned, that middle sector was an absolute blistering sector. 4 tenths of a second quicker than Jochen Hahn, 1.3 seconds faster than Bradley Smith, who eventually ended up in 6th position. But as part of this circuit being so long, the gaps are exaggerated, so in another circuit that may be a much smaller gap. But still, he's done the job. It's truck 1, P1, Norbert Kish, 2:42.3. He was half a second quicker than Jochen Hahn. Jochen seemingly over the engine troubles of yesterday. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez in 3rd. He will start on the second row of the grid alongside Sasha Lenz. Then we have Antonio Albacete in 5th place and the lead Chrome driver, Bradley Smith, in 6th. Steffi Halm will start alongside John Newell on row 4, who gets ahead of his countrymen Mark Taylor and Luke Garrett. Luke, I'm sure, will be pretty pleased to be in the top 10. Louis Rukwenko with a couple of issues, I think, starting from 11th with Stefan Faz alongside him on row 6. And for the second day running, we'll have the 7th row made up of Clemens Hecker and Rene Reinert, who hopefully will have that engine fixed and sorted by the time we get to race 2 this afternoon. Sorry, race 1 of the day this afternoon, race 3 of the weekend. Now is the calm moment where the trucks make their way back in. Quite a long cool-down lap for all the drivers. And because the next session is not too far away, we can hear a number of the GT cars and prototypes firing up in the pit boxes below. Interesting to note, there's a BMW M8 GTE here this weekend, which is a car I've not seen in a very long time. It was an absolute hero and quite the meme of the IMSA and Le Mans series. And we're going to hand back down to Louise now. I'm going to shut up for a bit so you don't have to listen to me for too long, and I'll speak to you again soon. That's hand down to Louise.
And there we go. That was the qualifying there for you. And make sure you stick with us, though, because we've got plenty more where that came from with races 3 and 4. So make sure you join us. You'll be able to see the times on the screen right now. We're going to be back here, of course, for the live broadcast to show you all of it. I can't wait. It's going to be great. We'll see you shortly.